In this video, we're going to talk through an example Python program. The Python program starts with the instruction count equals 3, then includes a loop where we check to see if count's less than 10. The loop body includes two statements, one that prints the value of count and a second that updates the value of count by increasing it by 1. The first part of the question asks us to trace through the values and identify all of the different values that the variable count will take on during this repetition statement as the program executes. We want to try to be the computer and run the program in our mind. So what we're doing is making a memory worksheet where we keep track of the value of all the variables in the program. This particular program just has the value count. So in this example, count gets initialized to 3. That's the step that happens before the loop. So the first value that count takes on is going to be 3. And I'm just going to put all the different values it takes on here, comma separated. Next thing that happens is it evaluates the loop condition. So we check to see if count is less than 10. So it's going to look at the current value of count, which is 3, and see if that's less than 10, which it is. 3 is less than 10, so we're going to execute the whole loop body, which would print out the value of count, which is 3, and then update the value of count by taking the current value of count, 3, adding 1 to it. That gives you 4, and then it's going to store the result, 4, back into the value count. So the value 3 is going to be replaced with a new value 4. If we wanted to be really precise, we could cross out, maybe do like a strike through for the 3 to show it's no longer valid. But the question didn't really ask you to do that as part of your homework assignment. I think I'm going to do that as I trace through just so that we don't get confused about what the current value of count is. But if you didn't do that, that wouldn't be counted wrong in any way. So now we've just updated the value of count, it's 4. We're at the bottom of the loop, so Python would go back up and evaluate the loop condition again and check to see is 4 less than 10. And it is, so we would execute the whole loop body, which would print the value of count, 4, and then increase the value of count. It would take the current value of count and add 1, so 4 plus 1 is 5, and then it would store the result back into count. So the value 5 is going to replace the previous value of count. Now we're going back up to the loop control again. We're going to check to see if 5 is less than 10. Sure is. So we're going to do the whole loop body again. We would print the value 5 to the screen, and then we need to update the value of count. We're going to take the current value of count, that's 5, add 1 to get 6, and then store the result 6 back into the variable count. Whoops. Now we're going to go up to the loop control again, check to see if the current value of count is less than 10, and it is. 6 is less than 10, so we're going to execute the loop body, print the value 6, and then update the value of count by adding 1 to 6. So we get 7, and 7 is going to be stored back in our variable count. Now we're going to go to the loop control again, check to see if 7 is less than 10. That's true. So we're going to execute the loop body and print the 7, and then we're going to update the value of 7 by adding 1 to it. So 7 plus 1 is 8. We're going to store that result 8 back into my variable count. That replaces the previous value. Now we're going to check to see if 8 is less than 10. It is, so we're going to print the 8 and then add 1 to the value of count, so it'll become 9. Now we're going to check the loop control. 9 is less than 10, so we're going to execute the body of the loop, print the value 9, and then update the value of count by adding 1 to it. Count is going to become 10. And now we're going to update or check the loop control again. Checking to see if 10 is less than 10. That is false. It's equal to, but not less than 10, which means that the loop would terminate. It would not execute the loop body. If we had any statements in our Python program down here, they would execute. We don't have any, so the program would stop right now. So as we executed the loop, the values that count took on were 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. At each step, we updated the value of count by 1. It says now write the Python instructions in a Python file and then execute the program so you can check your answer. So we could do that. We can just copy and paste into a Python file, and then I'll need to save that and run it. And we can see that when we ran the program, it printed out the values 3 through 9. It didn't print the value 10 because remember that was the value it took on as the last step, and then it checked the loop condition and it was false, so it never printed that last value 10 to the screen. So it printed out 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And then it says, suppose we added this line to the program. Would the new line execute once or 7 times? Why do you think? And if you modify your Python program so that it includes that new line, I had a semicolon there. That's just me being a Java programmer, forgetting that we don't need that in Python. It doesn't cause any problems if you put it in there, but it doesn't help anything either or change anything. So you can see now our new program, it printed the 30, that's count times 3, 1 time at the end of the program. So it only executes once, and that's because it's not part of the loop body.